Uh, Hello and welcome back. Go offline today. Yep. Everybody I know stop streaming. Just me, once again. A Facebook notification. It said it'd be random junk. Anywho, I messed around with the thingy. Like something else is missing. I got the chat connected. Chat thingy there. Music is good. I don't know, I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, why is there such a strong smell? It's trash in my room right now. Yeah. So that idea of the floating island city building thingy, I did like a quick sort of concept test of that yesterday. Made this. It helped that I actually had an idea of what like the house looks like in my head. That inspection pillars on the side because I could. There you go. The windows and doors would be baked on, and this whole area is about 700 polygons, so it fits within the game. Whoops. It's a nice sort of floating islandy thingy. Yep. So this would be like, I guess, a medium-sized housing thing, or I don't know, whatever default size. You never know. I would assume it would take like 9 people, but you know, that's just micromanagement adjustments sort of things. But yeah, 4 person for one of these. Oh, so that'd be 12 people. I don't know why I was thinking 9. It's 3 per one of those. Whatever. I mean, they're pretty thin. Stick through the back of the walls. Yeah. Put a well in the middle because why not? The only thing I didn't consider was lighting. So I'm assuming the whole area will just be lit by the lights of the building or something. Which would actually mean area lighting. I could just have a point light just in each window sort of thing. But shadows though. I could have a sun that goes around, but casting shadows is a bit more of a complicated thing. Like, I know how I could do it, but yeah. I got a few ways I could think of that could do real-time shadowy things. I was thinking of yesterday, but yeah, that's what it looks like. Just a general idea, so you know, I'd probably have like a gate thingy that opens and closes as you walk close as well, so you don't see like from here you wouldn't be able to see out to the island that's next to it or anything, if there would even be an island next to it. Walk close, it opens up, you see the bridge and the way out, and just a closed door for the whatever island's next to it. So it would just be the outer shell of the next island. Wouldn't have any of the interior thingies. And I'll probably optimize it so there's whatever view you would see from each angle. Lots of optimizations that could be made. Like the bottom half of the island, you can only see that like however much is there from each direction you happen to be walking from. You would never really see it from this angle, so that would show like half of it. If you're walking from that way, there's half of it existing, or that way, there's half of it would be existing. So I could do lots of things like that to, you know, just do extra optimizations. Yeah. So it's a floating islandy thingy. Very big heavy walls now that I think about it. Yeah. But it's got to have some sort of a wall thingy around it like that so you don't just see inside. And I guess if another island breached it, it would breach to like the back of one of these things, so they could be like secondary docking points for enemy things, and then the building would just have people spawning out the front of it. That's the simplest way to do that. Maybe when enough of your people reach this building, it will like claim it back again, and the bridge will break. The enemy's tethery thing going to it. I don't know. That's the idea. I think it looks pretty nice. It's got a nice sort of scale to it thing. Like, scaly thing. Normal maps are just random things I created. Turned out I hate more trash than I expected. I mean, it does work, what I did. But yeah, that's not how normal maps should be created. Weird how this flat part around the bottom goes glitchy. Depending on where I am, it shows a different thing. Ah, that's not even UV mapped. That normal map is weird. Probably just because I made it weird. That's what I imagine anyway. Except originally I was imagining just 2 exits, and then there would be like a differently shaped building going around the back there. You could have variations of the thing. So you could have like dead end housing things which house more people, but there's only one way in. Or you could have 2, which is less, or 3, which is even less. Maybe even a 4. I feel like there shouldn't be 4s though. And maybe it could all be like a hex grid sort of thing. I don't know. Anyway. I was gonna stream it, but a person came on it. Well, how have I got 4 notifications, damn it? Yeah, a person appeared that I hadn't seen in a long time, so just hung around. Model while I was talking to him. And I think I'm getting sick. Hooray! I think it's the same thing I had last time. Why did I? Go away. Anywho, do I actually have a viewer right now? It says 1. Oh yeah, that person was there when I started. I'm assuming whoever that was just didn't leave last time. Or it's another bot. But I doubt it. Huh. What is this image? What is that image? Can't see. Probably for the best. Why does that... Is that like... I don't know. Anyway. Who was this person? Oh, I seem like a real person. I think it's a hand? So it's a girl with a hand in a jacket with no pants. I don't know. Anyway, what am I doing? Oh boy, I did a heck of a lot of messing around with this damn thing too. Oh my god. I probably put another 6 hours into it. I was up till the sun came up. Oh my god. Every damn time I fix something, another thing's broken or had always been broken. I don't know. I figured out some new debugging methody things to make it a whole lot easier. So I have the ID of faces being displayed in the wireframe thing, and then I could just exclude all but that face being displayed. And then when I'm looking at a face with a bug in it, I can just grab the location rotation of the camera, and then I can get that every single time. Snap speed face number 42. Oh my god. So we got disappearing parts, it's rendering the part that shouldn't be there instead of the part that should be there. This is the new thing since the last one I fixed. Before it was just simply not rendering a thing. I put a front thing on it as well. Maybe that's why it's all tilted like this. Let me get rid of that. Yeah, it's not a weird tilted thing. It's like it's offsetting a location rather than starting at a further forward location. So let's just set that to 0. Maybe I missed one. Made it go a bit weird. Yeah, that smell's getting annoying. Just every now and again, just a really strong smell of food that's been there for a little too long. Weird, because there shouldn't be any food in the bin. Oh, it might be like some sauce from a Subway I had a while ago or something. Refresh. Okay, well that's actually just put it back to what it was before. So that bottom part isn't being clipped, and oh my god did I ever spend a large amount of time mapping out every damn cut this thing does. Multiple times. And it didn't tell me anything. I don't understand in the slightest what it's telling me. Because the outcome was not this, but it doesn't show the final 2 pieces. But it definitely did not look anything like this. So I have no clue what's going on. So I was hoping by putting the start clipping a bit forward that would help it. Oh, maybe that's why it's tilted, because the start clipping is forward and the angle that it's at, and it's just a whole lot of things adding together. Let's just say 0.2 instead of a 1, because a 1 is very large, relatively. Like, why does this side get cut faster? That's what I don't get about it. It's like it's offsetting everything forwards, but it does fix the problem. As far as I can see. But yeah, why is this thing tilted? Because that should still be straight. It should still be square. I probably just put it in the wrong place, in the wrong way. Somewhere. Oh, this thing's long. So, should it be everything to do with B? Oh, yes, that is actually that. That replaces the 0. So yes, yes. Okay. Starting to make a lot of dumb mistakes making this stuff down. Brackety thing anymore. I think there's one more of that. No? Oh. Oh yeah, I thought there was, and I put brackets around the thing, and I was like, wait, this isn't what that is. Alright, so it's pretty much anything that's a less than 0. It's generally going to be what this is. Except for that one. Okay. Well, that's probably fixed that problem, and who knows, fixed all the problems. Yeah. So as far as I could tell, is it was just slicing a thing that was only just inside because of rounding errors with the back of the camera. And if anything cuts the back plane, it's guaranteed to also have 2 other cuts on the side. Depending on the dimension. And that was causing it to sort of bug out a little bit. And keeping a face that it shouldn't have. Deleting one that shouldn't have. Again, though. I feel like that should still be a parallel thing. Okay. Yeah, no, that should always be parallel. But it does seem to have fixed the problem. That one is still there. I had to get rid of the rounding thing, because the rounding thing was making a thing break, basically making that happen. So I'm not sure why that one's happening. But it is cutting the bottom part now. It's the same thing again as that other one. Okay, have I just missed something and that's why it's still doing the tilty thing? I might have like a shortcutty sort of thing happening to something. There was a few things around that I noticed that was wrong, like I had B being reassigned here, where that one should have been F. I fixed that up. I never had a far cut, so it hadn't been a problem. And there were a few things where stuff wasn't getting assigned. However that happened. I had a few things that were stuff that I fixed and then broke and then forgot about. Because I thought it might be the thing breaking something. Just forgot to change it back. All sorts of problems every damn where. So I'm pretty damn close. But aren't I always? That is just the constant state of this game. Or anything I program. Yeah, that one's baked from that one, so anything to do with B needs to be less than cam start. Yeah, we do not use the apps thing. That was another thing I had at one point. I was using Z, which has been apps, so nothing would have been behind the camera. I think I fixed that last stream though. Such a nice rainy day. I had chocolate on the table the entire day and it didn't melt. Oh my god, so great. First time in ages I slept without a fan on. Don't even remember the last time. Well, I remember the last time I tried and woke up really hot. Damn, like 35-degree weather. Had a whole lot of problems with how this stuff was working. Clipping thing, which is fine, but like this thing was doing something weird. Which is causing a whole lot of problems. If something was only clipping with the back face, then it was not going through here. So if it was entirely in the inside, on the front and the back, then it wouldn't cut it. And that's what was showing things in front when they were behind, so that was the problem I think I left on. So I just had to put that there. But that took ages to figure out what the world sort of combination I needed to put it. I thought I had to put it in here, but this was excluding, and it wasn't having there, but I had to do a different thing, and oh, that took ages. So it's all the B stuff there, that's just the 8-9 things.
Talented, not very readable, eh?
It's very readable to me. It's just a big mess at the moment because I'm trying to debug it. I'm trying to get it working, I mean. You get it working and then you can pretty it up. Yeah. Maybe something with this? No, maybe? Is it? I think so. Do I have to do something here? Oh, okay. Yeah, that might have something. In which case we would have... But then it... No. As long as B has the value. Yeah. So that should be fine. Did I put things in the wrong place? No. Okay. I mean, probably. But not just then. Where's the next place? So that does that. And then we have a cut. And you do the deep copy, whatever, trying, remeshing, whatever that thing would be called. Then we figure out which one's in front, behind. So yeah. I think that was a thing. Yeah, I didn't have this being divided by whatever the face vertice count was, so the midpoint wasn't right at all. I don't know how that thing ever worked. I mean, I guess it just added things together to be more or less, so whatever. Which would be why it wasn't working at all when I was doing it backwards. But the X, the far and back thing used to be happening last. Yeah. Yeah. It's supposed to be clipping. Well, I mean, that's pretty much it. Unless there's some sort of a problem going on here. What is this one doing? Working out at the midpoints within the field of view, so yeah, it's irrelevant. And why do I have an else? Oh yeah, if both of them are outside, if one's inside, if the other's inside. So that should be that. And then, yeah, all of this stuff, there's a potential that it will think something can be cut but doesn't cut anything. I had to put the C thing in here, so I've reworked all of that. And yeah. Triangulated, divided by 3. And then if nothing went through at all. Why do both of these have B's? Whatever. So that should be that. It should be all good, unless there's something somewhere else which is being affected by this start. No, I don't think so. It still seems like something's being pushed. Did I mess with anything? Maybe I magically picked something. Don't make me graph it out again. I was trying to do it with no decimal places, but it wasn't working very well. Need to use the decimals. No. That's the button. Alright, yeah. Alright, parallel. But should it be? I mean, I really feel like that's got to be parallel, damn it. Whatever, we could just move on to this problem. What the world's happening with the rest of this junk? Why does that happen? I gotta graph the whole thing out, don't I? I mean, it's just a simple, small thing there. Nope. I gotta free the mouse and then pause it. Otherwise, any movements of the free the damn mouse, then pause. That's not big enough. The heck out of my ears. How big of a thing can I make that? I guess I'll have to do. Sometimes I'm gonna double click. Whatever. Pause the on pause just to get an extra start in there. Okay, that's a relatively short one at least. That one. Yeah, so this is the original. I was trying to figure out why it was overlapping in weird ways. Each cut of the thing. I went nowhere quick. I couldn't work out what exactly was giving it this final result. I had a cut there, but it was only one cut? Like, how does that work? Anyway. Could have just been a problem with the way I'm logging. It is, it still is, but whatever. So now actually, this line is forwards by an amount. What did I say it was? 0.2. So it should just be 2. Oh, nice. Alright. So what are we looking at? 16.0, 4.8, 6.7. Interesting. It's right on an edge. 15.9, 4.8, negative 3.2. Uh, 34? What? Where'd the 15 come from? That was the second bit. 34.2, negative 12, negative 3.5. So apparently that's my mesh. Looks about right. Except the whole thing's upside down. So it's just keeping that little slice there, which is the bit that it's supposed to be getting rid of. Yeah. Huh? No. My field of view is wrong. Damn it. Oh. This thing's been moved. Field of view. Just to better distinguish. I think that had to be highlighted more. No, whatever. Twitch it. Oh, it's 0.2. What do you know? Huh. Oh, whatever. And it is whatever. Okay. And then we got 300, yeah. Then we got point. Hang on, what? Oh, I don't think that's right. That might be where the tilting's coming from. This should all still be just 0. Only those ones. That one stays as it is? Why does that not have that same thing? Because I just removed it? Probably. There we go, we got the parallel back. Okay, great, that's that fixed. Okay, back to the next error. That magically fixed that as well. I can mess around for the next half an hour, try to clip it in just the perfect way that I got multiple times in a row. Or we could just assume that is what fixed it. Okay, who knows, maybe absolutely everything's running perfectly fine now. Let's try comment it all out. I sound hopeful, but I'm really not. Always sucks when you do stuff like this. Like you spend so damn long trying to do a thing and you just have error after error after error. Something that was only supposed to take possibly like a couple of hours, a couple of days or whatever, turns into many multiples of times longer than it should have. And then when you finally get it done, there is no joy. There's just finally the end of not joy. But the end of not joy does not mean the start of joy. It just means the not joy ended. And you're like, great, now I can move on. Probably got them all, just double check. Looks good. Load it all in again. Oh, it already is being loaded in. I just gotta remove this thing now. I don't have the MP overload error anymore. So the only way I'm gonna know if something's not working is if I just wander around for a while. Keep a very close eye out for anything that should be there that went away. Disappearing little things at the very edge of the screens, sides and stuff. Something poking in what shouldn't be. Faces or lines with this thing on that appear from behind. I want to turn that off, but I might need to know what the faces that I'm looking at. This is looking like it's all good. The wireframe is the wireframe. We've got no faces appearing from behind that shouldn't be. Only seeing the stuff within the field of view. Oh. What is that? I appear to have the ground below me be appearing in front of me. Oh god, it's just not going to show up again, is it?
Maddie learns. Hi.
Hello. Damn it, how do I get that error back? One last thing left now, as far as I know. Maybe it's because I was near the edge? Oh, there you are. Get back here. Gotcha. What the heck are
Maddie
you?
learns only sometimes displaying.
Oh, sometimes, like, this is just. Oh, damn it, I moved the mouse. It's displaying what's behind me in front of me. Well, at least that's what it sees on the CPU side. The GPU doesn't. The GPU doesn't have the same errors. But I need the CPU side to be seeing exactly what the GPU side would see, basically. To be able to do the optimizations I need to do. Damn it. Oh. Where exactly was I looking? Got you. Let go of the damn mouse, then pause. Okay, so why is this thing existing is the question. We only got one face there, but it's probably slicing a whole heck of a lot of stuff. I don't know. How are we going to debug this one? Well, at the very least I can get it so it's repeatable. I've got the feeling that it's trying to cut a face, but it's not cutting the face. And the face is entirely in the field of view or something. There's some sort of exclusion which is popping it through to the end. Obviously. I have a general idea of where I could look. Where am I going? Okay, sure. Yeah, whatever. Almost got it. This is the in-game one. That is exact as I can get it. And what is your rotation? Exactly 0. Oh, never has any rotation. We never rotate that axis. Okay, this should now be repeatable. One time it wasn't repeatable, so I like to have the second one open now. So you can see when it doesn't happen. That's interesting that that didn't show anything, and I'm back here again. I am in the wrong place? Yes. Block comment. We want the one that's under here. There we are. Great. The heck are you? Okay. What face is this? Well, it says 75 a lot, so I'm going to assume 75. Is this face 75? It's a very thumpy song. Could be 74. It's probably 74. Yep. Where am I looking? 74. Can't remember how I built those IDs. No? How did I build those IDs? No, I got it over here. Okay. So 74, 75 were joined. 74, 75 joined to 75 again. And then 75 joined to that. And then 75 joined to 75 and 73. So maybe it's 73. I mean, that's the only other number I haven't tried. I guess the whole thing just joins backwards to the way I expect. I mean, it should be the first, the middle number. Whatever. Was I just putting the damn number in the wrong place? Type a 9 down here instead of pressing 9 with the shortcut key. Turn on when it's like that. Let's see if it's working. No. Okay. 75 again? What? I mean, I don't see that face at all. There is no 75? Oh, I refreshed the wrong one, damn it. Okay. How do you work over here? So we know we should be seeing 75. Well, that does not have the number 75 within that. Okay. Do I have like a 76? The best I got is a 77, but it's supposed to be 75. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 11? No? Maybe I just go down by 2 numbers? Or maybe I just try every number until eventually something displays, you know? You never know. Yep. Again, that's not even a face. Okay, the heck were you? What faces are in that general area? I mean, I don't think this error should cause any problems. The optimization should still work perfectly fine. But they just shouldn't be there. Oh! Oh, yeah, because they turn them all on. Okay, what do we got here? 30. 30 or 52, perhaps. I don't know how I get that ID then. I think it's supposed to be the vertice IDs. Bam, there we go. Okay, why do you exist? Bring on the logs again. I really should make my own console log thingy, and then I could just make a toggle to turn it all off. That'd make this a whole heap lot easier. I wonder if I could just rewrite that function. Just have console log do console log, but with a condition. Would it be okay with that? I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't be. You never know till you try. Either way, I need to turn it all back on again. Yeah, MP overload should be impossible now. Potentially. Damn it, block on it. Is that everything I want? I think so. Well, I'll know soon enough. Alright, what happens? Okay, what do we got here? So we got that, so there was a cut in the Z. We got A's and B's, and then we got a C, so it kept the second one, so we're keeping 4? Interesting. Wait. So apparently this is in front of the camera, and this is behind the camera. But this is in front of the camera. How did we get in front of the camera? The mesh should be entirely behind. What's going on there? Okay. How have you managed to be in existence? This could possibly explain something, but at the same time, I don't understand. So what I'm assuming this means is when I look up and down, it's actually pivoting the camera? So if I'm... no, that can't be right. I should be looking like this if I was being... Okay. Something's not being taken into account when translating the dimensions? The relative axis things, whatever. No, I don't see it. Something's being assumed? No. The locations are showing that they're in front of the camera relative to camera space when they're not. What does that mean? Possibly implying a problem with this? Hello, person to join. Feel free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. Implying a problem with what now? This? No? I mean, yeah, but no. No. Because this is entirely to do with that. And we should have all of that down now. The only other thing I could imagine is I've done something wrong with this. X is X. Maybe I... but then if it's... so if I make that 0, does it go away? With that, I mean, maybe... could have entirely new problems if I get rid of that. No. Did not go away. Interesting. Because it seems like this is being added in a relative location, but even then, it shouldn't be doing it because this is only offsetting by 0.2. Where the height of the camera is something like... random eagle? What is the height of the camera? I want to say 10, but that doesn't sound right. Oh, that's where I set the clipping. Yeah, I'll set that in here then too. Height is 7, so that would have to be 7 before I'd expect to see anything like I am, or greater than 7. Okay. But we can clearly see, apparently this is in front. How am I working that out? Did I do something wrong in that math? You are this one. Why is this a 1? That's supposed to be a 0. And that one's the 1. I would assume this is also supposed to be a 0. The third is annoying. Okay, now it goes away. With potentially new problems appear. Okay. Let's go back on the wander. Oh yes. Can I override this function? Where would I put that? I could put it literally anywhere. I suppose I'd put it in the file that I'm currently editing. Also need to change the error one, I guess. Let's see if it lets me do that. I don't know how to make the variables for this. I guess this is the next best thing. Are you happy with that? Huh. Oh, I guess it would literally be cooling itself. Okay. So I'd have to change what this name is. Damn it. Well, it's just looping around circles. And I can't be bothered trying to memorize a new one because I'd always just be defaulting back to that. Here are the logs. Man, I wish I had that MMOAT7 mouse. Oh wait, I do, but it sucks. Wish I had one that worked. Macro, so many things to that mouse, it'd be amazing. I got to use it for about a week before it broke. And then get rid of this. Okay. Let's take a wander. Okay, let's get rid of the logging of that. All those numbers. eye out for anything that doesn't look right. Black hole thing with like having a star like streak around the side of it like that. I wonder if that should be like dimmer when it goes around. How that would work. Yeah, specular problem's a completely different problem. I mean, everything appears to be working. Let's add some more geometries. Is this the one I'm supposed to be looking at? Yeah. That one. Have it all comments out. It's gonna go with that. I won't like it too much. Oh, actually, the performance is perfectly acceptable. Wow, that's crazy. I mean, other than the huge lag spikes. Well, I'm assuming if I turn that off, it'll go. Well, it goes down a bit, but what are the lag spikes about? GPU overhead, really? That might be because the CPU is slowed down. What am I looking at? That one that I don't like, browser. Oh yeah, okay. Good old browser lag. I wonder what that's all about. Do I have some sort of a... I don't know. I don't know what browser lag's about in this case. Whatever. Oh wow, I was expecting that to be worse when all was slightly intersecting. Everything appears to be fine. Okay. Ooh, that makes it go a bit slower. CPU-based rendering. Okay. Oh, let's just say that works finally, damn it. Okay, time to clean up. I know I'm gonna find more problems. I'm gonna have to dump all of these logs back into it again. I really don't want to erase them yet, but oh wait, no, I gotta do the optimization thing yet. I don't know, maybe the optimization just magically works. Wouldn't that be nice? Let's get rid of the extra geometry. It's the if. Where's the if at? There you are. Okay, how badly does that break things? I should just make everything run like 3 times faster. I think. I got no clue. Let's just pretend that's 3 times faster.
Maddie learns. What is surprising is that you can keep track of what is going on.
I know, right? I have this weird mental map of how everything's all laid out and things. Like, I know by the indenting, like how much it's indented, like where commented out pieces of code are, and that's just like image detection. And it's got this weird visual map. What am I doing? Changing location of layer. That, and also I've spent unbelievably large amounts of time doing this, so, you know, by default you pick up some things. Otherwise you're doing it wrong. To say, you put 10,000 hours into something, you gotta be at least somewhat good at it, otherwise you did something wrong. Because you could just be doing the same thing every day, the exact same way, and generally you will be better after 10,000 hours. But there are those people who aren't, and that's always very disturbing. Oh, there we go. I was gonna say, that it looks broken. And I got that face up there, not being cut. There should be a number of those errors around. Yeah. Okay, how do I even begin to start to imagine on how to fix this thing? I could bring all the comments back and just focus on this area here, I guess. All the console logs. But yeah, indenting makes things easier because, like, you know where things are because, like, as I said, like the indented blocks of code. Like, well, I mean, this thing's pretty obvious. You can easily see the difference between this chunk of wall of text and long parts. Like, that's very noticeable. And I'm like, oh, that's that part. After that part, I have this part. After this part, I have, you know, going into loops. So the first one's whatever, second one's whatever, third one's whatever. Then we have this stuff. The next indenting thing is the, like, intersection of lines. Then we have the slicing of faces. You know, that's how you see the whole thing. Probably a better way of explaining it. What am I doing? Yeah, I probably should just focus on this part. So what happened here and where did it go wrong? Where is the camera? No, what am I looking for? Viewports. Camera. Location. Whatever. Okay. Oop. What did you just hear a second ago? Yeah, you just left it. I guess the chat just bugged out. Well, whatever. Did I? No. Did I? No. Damn it. Uh-huh.
Maddie learns, so is clipping working now?
Yep, so I'm just optimizing it. Well, getting the optimizer to fully be working. And then once the optimizer's full is working, then I can do the segmenting of overlapping faces over a grid. So as I said before, like this is to optimize the graphics card, and also as a bonus allows me to do full rendering on the CPU with crazy texture distortion, but it works. So yeah, I can imagine the because right now it's just a little square here. If I had that square that you can see things within, and I cut that up into a grid, and then I got what faces overlapped what tiles, then when I'm rendering on the graphics card and it's doing a pixel that's up in the corner over here, it doesn't care about any of the faces down here that aren't overlapping with that pixel over here, or this area that pixel's within. So we just don't care about it. There you go. You don't even have to look at these because we just know that they have absolutely nothing to do with that. And it's really easy to do just the overlapping on a tile thingy compared to figuring out if this pixel's within that triangle, because then you got to do the trans-dimensional location thingies, triangulation things. Yeah. I don't have a perfect way of doing the overlapping of a grid thing though. Hang on a second, let's just close the bathroom door. Okay, little stinks. Rains like the direction that the wind blows. Yeah, I don't have a perfect way to figure out where faces are overlapping on a grid. So if I just cut this up into 3, I can use the same thing I'm doing for figuring out if a face is overlapping an edge, the same optimization that I'm basically doing now. Which is basically... Oh yeah, I did this as well, if anybody saw that. Nobody was here at the time. But that castle building, I mean the city building game that I was talking about, where all of the things were on floating islands, I modeled that up yesterday just because why not? Couldn't find a good bridge texture, so I just slapped this one on. Yeah, so this would be like a housing island that's just floating around the place. So yeah, it could hold like 12 people or something, I don't know, maybe this is a medium-sized one, don't know, just whipping up concept. This is just sort of what I imagined in my head. Except I imagined it without an extra tunnel going sideways, and it was like a weirdly shaped building going around here. That they all weren't the same building. And I didn't think of a well in the middle, but you know, it just sort of works. Doesn't have to be. But yeah.
Maddie learns. You made these? Oh.
Yeah, I just whipped it up in Blender real quick. It's real easy when I have an imagination that works and I can see what I want to make. Like... I just whipped this up in a couple of minutes, so it probably took half an hour to make this, not even. Most of that was searching for the textures and things and messing around trying to make a normal map that was just using the texture itself. They were pretty good.
Maddie learns. That is very good. Oh.
If you say so. Looks like trash. But, yeah, it's just up in Blender, so it's just, you know, the lighting of the Blender does by default, just got a sun lamp up there. I'm definitely going to need to have shadows working, or at least some basic form. I could have it baked in, but that means I can't have a day-night cycle. But hey, if you're always above the clouds, maybe there isn't a night cycle. But a night cycle would add in a whole lot more features. Like potential stuff that could happen, like maybe you get raided at nighttime more often, and it's harder to see. People need to sleep and stuff like that. I don't know, that could be later features. But that means I'm going to have a dynamic day-night cycle thing, and that with real-time shadows, well, baked shadows is a bit annoying. I could do it with real-time ones. I was also thinking I could have torches on these pillars, or I could just have the light from the windows lighting up the scene. So if there was torches on the pillars, which would be the best way of doing it, I could just put point lights on them. And then I could bake in a a mission map sort of thing on the ground. So the emission map, like, the lights would just be handling specular, basically. And then you just have an emission map on the ground, just fades in as it goes nighttime. And the specular would just be multiplied by the emission map on the ground. So the map on the ground is just 0 to 1, where there's shadow with 0. So you wouldn't see the shadow of, like, a specular thing from this light here, because it doesn't have color on its emission map, it's behind the pillar. So I could do things like that, which sort of means multiple emission maps for each one. I could color code it, I don't know, whatever. There's many options I could do there. That seems like the easiest one. Color code the emission map by the ID of the lights. So, you know, if I had 3, it would just be red, blue, green. first light lights up anything in the red, second one green, third one blue. But the color doesn't affect the color, it just affects where the specular appears. It's just treated as a black and white thing. And it would just be influencing the diffuse color on the ground. It's weird how that looks like a reflection. Just because I sucked at doing the normal map. I think I got the wrong mapping coordinates. Or everything's just wrong. Yeah, it doesn't do it now. Yeah, I think it is the wrong mapping coordinates. Huh. I see the normal map now though. My attempt thereof. Oh, it's just really subtle. Trying to mix in a noise thing so give it a bit of variation. There we go, that looks better. I spent ages messing around with that. So object space 1 this. Object space, really? Yeah. The scaling of the texture is different. It doesn't quite work as well. That was object space, right? Blender object space. Maybe it's because that map is scaled down a whole lot. I don't know. There's a variation in the lumpiness of the wall. Whatever. Am I standing? Yeah, that's the potential for this game. And I think it looks pretty nice in terms of scale and stuff. As I said like before, like you would be raided by other islands and stuff like that, or could be. So I was imagining like they would just like they could hook onto the back of one of these buildings, and then enemies would just spawn from the front of it. But if enough of your people get to this building, then you basically recapture it and break the tether on the back of it, rather than like breaking bridges and hijacking on. But they could also do that. So if they wanted to steal an island, they would hijack onto here and then start damaging the bridges or something like that. And then when all the bridges are broken, they've taken this island. But you could do the same thing to them. But you don't want them leaving with your people or something like that, though, I guess. Anyway. I think I have one of the roof thingy here, too. Whatever, terrible textures. I'd probably use that X normals or whatever it was to bake out proper maps, or I'd just get better textures. But whatever. The whole thing's about 700 polygons as well. Minus the decals on the house, like the windows and things would just be baked into a texture. So yeah, it's how many triangles? 724 triangles. So that's within reason. And there's a whole lot of optimizations I can do, like when you're standing on the island, you can't see the underneath of it, so that frees up a whole heck of a lot of polygons. If you're standing on one of these bridges, you wouldn't be able to see, you know, the other side of the bottom half of the island, so that could optimize there. And I could have big door things.
Maddie learns better than anything I can make.
Really? Okay. It must suck. um, yeah, so there'll be like a big gate door.
I am going to make a game but use a bunch of billboard.
That's the idea. Yeah, big gate here, so when you walk close enough it opens up and reveals the inside. That way I only need to see the outside of the place as you come in close as well. So there's many optimizations I could do to keep it within the 1,000 polygon limit, because I want, you know, billboard entities, as I was saying, like, they would be roaming around doing their
I'm pretty
thing.
bad at art, much better at programming, haha.
Yeah. I could only make this because I actually imagined what it was going to look like. That's why I suck at art, because I can't imagine what I'm damn trying to make. Like, I can see what this is. I could potentially see what a windmill is, and a blacksmith is, and a farm, and then I'm lost. I have an idea what the main building thingy of the, like, you'll have a big island in the center, as I was saying, where you can control the layout of the land and stuff like that, the layout of your kingdom, and plan stuff and do all that. I can imagine what that looks like, so I can do that as well. At least I can imagine what the room you would be interacting with looks like. And then a general idea of what the ground level looks like, but not really. Like, not enough to really make anything. Like, I just know there's a building, there's a wall around it, it's bigger, you can only see sections of it at a time because it's so big. Yeah, stuff like that. There'd be a way inside, maybe a big hallway that leads to either an elevator or a staircase at the back. I want like an elevator, I think. So you just click on it, the door opens up, you hop in, and it takes you up. So, like a mining elevator, maybe? And then opens up to the top floor. And from there, you could look out over your kingdom if it wasn't built in the clouds, because you can't see anything further than, like, your nose on your face. So you wouldn't actually be able to see anything, unless I had, like, billboard representations in the distance of what the places were and the angles they're generally at. I could do something like that. But it wouldn't be actual 3D models. The room itself would be pretty highly heavy, like I was thinking like shelves in it, it'll have some pillars, I have a throne, a balcony where you can look out if you can see anything, and then a table in the middle with like a map that has things moving around on it and stuff like that. It could be like 3D objects representing each of the building things, but then that really severely limits it as well. So it was probably going to be like a 2D flat thing, and it will just be rendered on the canvas and then projected onto that texture. So yeah, that would just be like a top-down representation of your city. You can like look at something and click and drag it over, and then that thing would just move over to that place, and you can move that thing over to this place, sort of thing. So you could use that to like first person to move things around the place. Because the focus is supposed to be on first person. That's the idea. It's a 3D game engine. I want everything to be first person as possible. I don't want a top-down thing which also happens to be able to be first person. I want first person to be the focus. Anyway. What was it on? I'll see if this thing worked. I mean, I'm in the same location, so I assume so. Where is my console? Okay. And then where in the world are you going wrong? I need to put all the comments back. That's where I was up to. Yeah, so we want to know where that goes wrong compared to what it should have been doing. We also want to know what face we're looking at. So I've got to turn that thing back on. Let's do this first. Probably want to know this stuff, why not? Then again, I don't think we do. There's a lot of stuff we want to know, but I don't know where. Gotta know this stuff. And there's one other thing we wanted to know. Nope, that's told in there. Okay, and we want the names to be back. So we could include all but what we want. It's a lot of logs. I probably should have done that after I figured out what face I wanted to have rendered, but whatever. I should have already been looking in the right direction, so I'm assuming that big one at the top. Oh. So 49. DEB. And then if I don't have that if, that face should go away. Yeah, great. That is the face that I desire. So, what's wrong with it? So, we start, we cut, this is the back stuff, so we're cutting the back chunk out, back chunk is cut. Then we have the top has a chunk cut out. The back should have only had one thing, wait, oh no, that's the far, yeah. So we have the back, we have the far, then we have this one being the top had a cut. Then we have this side.
Maddie learns, one thing that is a problem for me ATM is that the lighting on my terrain is too sharp. The terrain becomes dark too quickly if it doesn't get lighting.
Okay. In what context? A 3D thing? A 2D thing? Could you just make the lights go further before getting darker? Like, have a different fall off? Could you mix some world lighting into it so...
Maddie learns. It is 3D.
Is it a game engine or a thing you're creating? Like your own game engine sort of thing? Or somebody else's? Yeah. That side's got a cut. Yeah, that one. So back, bar, top, right. Well, we can see it's all working. What the question is what these numbers are.
Maddie learns. I mean, it is my own engine. I tried messing with the shader, couldn't find something that worked the way I want.
Well, how'd you make it in the first place? Yeah, you were using the libraries and stuff, weren't you? The WebGL stuff. I don't know. I can only suggest have a different fall off or just have a global illumination thingy. Somebody's cooking food. Pasta. Or macaroni.
Maddie learns. I only use OpenGL, that is it law.
Yeah. Yeah, could you just... I mean, does that lights have shadows? Is that what you could sort of say? That like when it goes under the shadow or something? That it's just black? Because it's not going to be lit up unless a light can reach it. So, if it's a shadow problem, just have a light that doesn't cast shadows. If it's surrounding the player, you could have a light where the player is that doesn't cast shadows, like just a really dim one. So, at least directly around the player, it's never darker than a certain amount. That's one trick.
Maddie learns. It is just basic lighting. A single directional light dot projected against the normal of planes.
Alright, so it's like my ones. I'm assuming that's what my ones are. I don't know. But yeah, it sounds like it's just a fall-off problem, really. I think my ones is just intensity divided by distance. Yeah, distance starts at the outside, at the size of the light. So yeah, the diameter of the light plus distance. No, minus? Yeah, plus. No? Yes. What? I don't know, whatever that is. Because that would be the... Yeah, minus. Diameter of the light minus the distance away from the light that pixel is at, and then divide that by the intensity divided by that. Which isn't correct, but it looks fine, I don't care. I mean, really you should want something that never reaches 0. So a light will just have infinite distance to it, just gets dimmer and dimmer, I suppose. Where my one will just have a cutoff. But I haven't messed around with that too much, I need a proper scene. As I said, the way Blender does it, it seems to have like an absolute cutoff. And where that cutoff is, the specular doesn't reach anymore. Where the way I imagine a specular working is, specular is basically like a mirror. If you have a light, and you shine it at a mirror that's really, really, really far away, so far away that it doesn't actually really light up the ground around the mirror, you'll still see a reflection in the mirror as if the light was being shined directly at you and hitting your eyes. It would look very bright. And you could have that mirror very, very far away. That's what they do with the moon and stuff. They have a mirror on the moon. And they shine a laser at it. And it's very clear if the laser hits the mirror. But anyway, so, yeah.
Maddie learns. I think if I change the direction so that it is mostly down with a small part in the X, it will fix it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, if the light's not even hit the ground, I would imagine that doesn't really light up the ground much. Yep. Anyway, what was it on? Oh yeah, look at the numbers. So we have a 1 and a skip, a 0 and a not, and a 1 and a skip. That's correct. And this is all zeros. Yep. This was a 0, but it said skip. That is wrong. Okay. Is this because of the Z? Damn, I'm hungry now. I also feel like I should have got a Facebook message. Tab over and... No, no dunk. You never know. Having people react to a comment. Oh, I tried to post a troll comment on a post. And it backfired a bit. People actually didn't think it was a troll comment. It was just really weirdly worded. And then I tried to correct it when the guy replied to me, and then everybody likes the first one that was sort of wrong, but I made like a really great point at the end of it. And then nobody cared about the second one where I actually made more sense, but not as great of a point. So annoying. What did I say? Why am I on Facebook? Why did my music stop? Yeah, it was a post about... Well, I mean, the post itself is pretty...
Maddie learns, Nas still gives the same problem law.
Yeah. Well, the post about drag queens reading stories to kids in a library. And then a whole thing about that, but that's not relevant to what I'm talking about. But yeah, this guy's like, exposing kids to this should be a felony. Like, if you mean drag queens, then no more than something like religion. I tried to troll like that, but it didn't really work. But at the end of it I said, your own bias is not a valid reason to stop others from doing things. I'm getting so many likes for that.
Maddie learns sounds weirdly political.
Yeah. Basically, I was just trying to say something along the lines of a drag queen is not really any different to like a cosplayer or like furries and things like that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just people dressing up and acting. You know? It shouldn't matter if you're around kids or not, as long as nothing weird's going on, like, you know, things can happen sometimes. As long as they're normal human beings, you know, then there shouldn't really be a problem. Otherwise, like, you know, mascots at ball games and things, you know, sports events and stuff, they are just as bad as a drag queen.
Yeah, I could honestly give a fuck less.
I know. I imagine most people can. I was trying to stir up something and try to get this guy to, you know, because he seemed very strongly opinionated about this thing. Yeah, so far people have just given him a whole lot of frowny faces and me a whole lot of hearts in the reactions. And then... yeah. He said a better worded thing later on. I don't know. Distractions. There's distractions too. Go away, Facebook. Yeah. It's fun to get reactions out of people that are really, really opinionated like that, but I just messed up the wording of the first time. I don't know. I always used to do stuff like that, like mostly religious people. Whenever religious people tried to convert me, I would try to convert them. Which is very fun. I actually successfully converted a few people from being religious who tried to convert me to being religious. Many great points.
Maddie learns. I mean IDK, I can basically get along with anyone, but my lack of caring I guess makes me liberal.
Yeah. I mean, that's not really the point. I mean, everybody should be able to get along with anybody, but yeah. I felt like that guy was just going to make a whole lot of angry comments about opinionated stuff that's irrelevant. And I was just going to try to make him put his foot in his own mouth sort of thing. I'm well out of practice. All the religious people left. Few science people. Well, there's like one guy who didn't believe in Google. That guy was hilarious, but there was no getting around that. Like, that guy was just a rock. Like, you could not say anything that he would then make him regret what he'd said and see the error of his ways sort of things. Oh, it was crazy. Like, basically, he was saying stuff like Google is like tainted results and stuff like that. Like, they only show you what they want you to see for like political agendas and stuff like that. Which apparently is actually true in some places. There's a YouTuber guy that I know, well, that I watch. He has his stuff censored in some countries in weird ways. Like, he can see people against his videos, but he can't see his own videos. But then he'll use a proxy or something, and then, like, literally searching the exact title of his video, it'll just be people reacting to it, and not the video itself. But then he uses a proxy, and his videos are all you can see. You don't see the reaction people, because, you know, that's how it should be. You search an exact title of something, you come up with that thing. Anyway. Yeah, the guy was going all about that, brainwashing people and stuff like that, changing their opinions, because it only shows you what it wants you to believe, and stuff like that. Which was hilarious.
Maddie learns. I think country censorship is mostly determined by the state, ISP, not the search engine.
I mean, that I feel is more of a search engine thing, because how could you make the search engine only come up with the results you want? Yeah, the country has to... There would be like a... I'm not sure. Like, all I could imagine, unless it's some sort of a crazy automated system of, like, you know, neural networky junk, as they usually do nowadays, like, how does it know about this one guy's channel? Did somebody actually discover this guy's channel and then put it on a list of stuff that then doesn't show results on the search engine, other than, like, really obscure cases? Like, did something like that go on? I'm assuming it's probably just an AI thing that's gone rogue a bit, like the whole YouTube thing that happened ages ago. YouTube had like an AI neural network learned thing that was supposed to be targeting... I can't remember the example exactly anymore, but it was targeting certain videos that was supposed to be stuff that breached
Maddie
things.
learns the search engine probably just discards results that it cannot receive connection to.
Well, it's just YouTube. So they would have to block that YouTube channel, but you can still access it on YouTube, it's just not Google. Like, it's still there, it's just harder to come across. But yeah, the YouTube AI thingy was supposed to remove things that went against guidelines, like with AI stuff. So you would upload a video, it would go through the footage and audio and junk like that. You know, what the title of it was, what the description was, and try to work out if this is something that could potentially be a problem. And then it would automatically flag that for a person to pick up or something like that. But the data set they had trained it on was slightly biased
Maddie
by
learns.
just coincidence.
The same probably applies to YouTube as well. Could be wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, YouTube is Google, as they say, but that's irrelevant, I think. So I don't know why I brought it up. But the search engines work completely differently. You don't use Google. I mean, you don't use YouTube to search for stuff like you do Google. So many people make that mistake. But yeah, basically the data set for the things they were finding had a thing in common with a certain type of video, like a certain demographic of people, basically. So whenever it saw that demographic of people, it basically treated them as if they were going to be breaching the rules in some sort of a way, which they weren't. It's just coincidence that whenever people were breaching the rules, there's probably a higher percentage chance that they were part of that demographic thing, so the YouTube automated system basically looked racist, or something along those lines. So, I can't remember where I was going with any of that. Person messaged me. Lol. Oh man, I think this person just entirely misinterpreted what I just said. Lol. Anyway, what am I doing? So I'm assuming there's a problem when it cuts the back face and it messes with this thing, so that should have been a 1, but it's a 0. And that's the cause of the problem which makes this thing not exist, which would have been an MP overload if that was still a possibility. So why the heck does that happen? I'm gonna have to model it all up, aren't I? Bleh. I'm gonna figure out how to get to work in every situation, because of course the fix is gonna break something else. This person's gonna be messaging me now. Wow, that's a wall of text. That was really quickly written out. Alright. So, the problem is possibly because of this. That's one possibility. And then the other one is in here? Wow, a lot of people joining. Did I just get hosted or something? Why is this still over here? No. Damn it, person. Yeah. Getting sick. What's this person's? Okay. So, blah 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 blah. That was the second place. Where was the second place? Flipping A equals A. Okay. It is at A. This A? This A. Okay, I can't imagine that one being wrong. Why would this one be? It couldn't be. So, this is because of... but then it would... no? So this should be going to the second face. Not the one that's kept, or is it the one that's kept? No. Yes? The duplicate. Stop it. Feel it. Yeah, 27 degrees is warming back up again. It's nighttime. Why is it warming up now? So Yeah, this is going to the one that is kept, but the one that, no, the new pseudovert. New pseudovert is this thing's the last one, yes? And this one is the first one, so is that the problem? Could that be the problem? How could that be the problem? Should they both be the same one? Okay, so what's going on? What's my screenshotty thing? Not here. Okay. So what's going on is we have a triangle, and then we're cutting the triangle along here, or some variation thereof. And then we have, I guess I'll just use screen pen again. So we have that point there to this point here. We want to know what edges of the screen that overlaps, because it could be like overlapping like that. It's intersecting this edge here, not at that one there, not the back one, not any other ones. So we want to know that, and that is not showing up, which is why this is a 0. Because it's saying that side is not being intersected. So this one should have all the same intersection information as it was when it was going from that edge to that edge, but is now going to this edge. That should be fine. So the problem is this edge here, because now this is going sideways to that one. So what information should it have? And then this one is going to this one. So what information should that one have? That one, because we're starting at this edge and going down, it should be copying the same information of that point there, which is what this is. So when it's created, it's copying the same thing for vertices 0. So that's 0, that's 1. This one's copying 0's intersection information. Okay. So the problem is the other one. Okay. So that one is this one. Or that one. I mean, that's if they're both there. But we only have one of them in this example. Okay. So, hello people are joining. Feel free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. We have that edge to that edge. This one would be copying that one's information. Then that one to that one. This is copying that one's information. Then we have an intersection going through the middle. And we're not caring about one of the sides. So that should be the intersection across the middle, which is getting this one's information, that one's information, and then calculating a new lot of information for the intersection stuff. Is this wrong? So there's two different ways I could get this information. I should probably be getting it the other way, but I just assumed it was probably going to break everything. Because this way should work fine, because when it's triangulating one of the faces, this one here, it should be starting at that point, so that's 0, 1, 2, 3. And to figure that out, because it was 0, 1, 2, so it's going 0, and then 1. 1 is an intersection location, which is MP0. So if it's at MP0, we want it to go to MP1 minus 1, because then it gets plus 1 speed per application. So we go from here to here, because it's here, we jump to there, which is actually there, but then it just goes up by 1, so boop, boop, boop. And then that face gets added, then we just go to the last one, job done. So, after that's calculated, MP0 should be at the same location, 0, 1, that would have been the 1, and even with the second face, that's the 1. And then if we just plus 1 to that, that should be the next index, which is this one now. Okay? So we get that one, and that one's relative information to the optimization information. Clipping... it's clipping location, so whereabouts it is in the grid thingy, with 0 being in the middle of the camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So which one of these tiles it's in, and then we do the same thing with the other one, which one of the tiles is that in, and so that tile is just plus 1. And that tile is plus 1, which will be 0 to 10. Does that actually have... No, it doesn't. Does it? Did we add a clipping 9 and 10? Yes, we do have a clipping 9 and 10 in here. Okay, I mean, if we have a clipping 9 and 10, we don't really need to be using that, but we need 9 and 10 to be assigned, which should be done in here rather than B. No, that's not at all how that works. Because that's a different clipping. Okay, yeah, that one's the whole thing combined. So that's the same as this. So that thing 9 and 10. Okay. So that is this thing dot B, this thing dot F, which was assigned in here. That thing B, that thing F is at the same location as this thing clipping. Yes. B is being assigned, F is being assigned. This is the location, not the Z, because I was using the Z before, which is wrong, because that's apps. We don't want the apps one. We just want that. So that should be correct. This location being relativized to the camera space. Unless that's somehow wrong, but then it would be displaying it wrong, so that can't be wrong. Really? A 0, 1? Oh, location, never mind. Yep. So that should be that. And we do have the B and F. B if behind the clip start, and F if beyond the camera clipping. Okay, so 9 is the before, and 10 is the far. So that's that, one for one for the other. So this is either going to be a 0 or 1 or a 2, and that's 9 and 10, 9 and 10 and 9 and 10. That is all completely irrelevant to any problem that I'm looking at, okay? We want to know why this is a 0. Okay, so we only got those two things. Those two things go to this thing. Clipping is clipping. Clipping should be set up the same way as it is everywhere else. Location 1, location 2 to clip to camera object, which is negative S times Z. Z is apps of the Z. Size is negative times 2 of the location. Okay. And this is the B version. Wait, do I have negative locations? No. Location 1 and 2. What did I have? 1 and 2, yep. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Negative S, negative that times 2. And this is that apps, which is Z. Why does this feel like it's got less lines? Okay. So that appears to all add up. Okay. And that just goes into whatever clipping. The better vertices clipping information. So that appears to be all entirely correct. And we have all the numbers right here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 1. Yeah, so 4. So 4 things for up, down, left, right, and then far back. So that's that. Wait, is it? Far back, up, down, left, right, yes. Why do I feel like that's wrong? Yeah, that's 6 things. Okay. So that appears to be correct. You are being assigned to that. That is what this is. This is an all verts because why not? You have an ID. Your ID is a unique thing. Oh no, that's the vertice. Yeah, the vertice is a unique thing because we deep copied it, made a pseudo vert. Unless IDs happen to be mixed, but I don't see that being a thing. Okay, so back up to here again. All we care about is these two parts. Is clipping returning a single number? I'd be getting many errors if it wasn't. That should just be a single number now. So that is that. We don't care about 9, 10. We got 9, 10, then we got 8, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, no, 6, 7, 8. So that's the 4 sides. And that's what A is. A is not being reassigned, otherwise we'd have lots of problems again. And that just becomes that, okay? So go back to the one we want. If we happen to be going from here to here to here to here, so the top one would be the first one would be this one. Then the one that we want to have the A is the 0. No, MP0. Ah, yes. As long as MP is still MP, hasn't been cleared yet. MP only gets cleared down here. So MP0 should be the one that was the first index of the A things. Yep. So MP0 gets a shallow copy, so I can then adjust this information without it being a problem. So a new pseudo vert. Okay. So that one's information is that one to that one's information. That one's information is this one's information. That appears to be entirely correct. Okay. And then we only care about this face. The one at the bottom is ignored and deleted. Then C is equal to 1 because something happened which was within the field of view of the camera. Otherwise, it's the other one. So in this one, that one is 0, it's the first face. And then the last base is that one to that one is the one we want to replace. So that one will be this one's information, this one is itself, and that one was that one's information, but we want it to be its own because it goes from here to there. The first vertice stores the information about what it intersects, the edge intersects. So I guess that's one place for a potential problem. This one should be what that one's information is if it's the top one, otherwise if it's the bottom one, that one's being replaced. If it is both of them, then we might have a deep copy error and it's actually replacing that with the second faces thing instead of keeping it as the first faces thing. But anyway, so the last face in face 1, because this is face 1, it's the second face. Its length minus 1 would be the index for that vertice. And yep, so we deep copy or shallow copy that or whatever. And then its clipping A is equal to A, so that should be crossing across here. But if this is ever happening, we're just keeping that face so it should be irrelevant. It's the same information. Wait a second. Yes, but no. But yeah? Okay, so we're replacing that face's vertice with this vertice, which is fine. Okay, never mind. I was thinking maybe when that happens on this other side that causes a problem, but no, it should be fine. So I'm fairly certain the error lies within here. Okay. The whole point of that is that it allows me to do this without disturbing the one that's in the other face, because this vertice when it's before it's copied is twice. There's 2 of them. I suppose I could just log whatever this thing is. Okay. What is this? Clipping A. And then what is it down there? So this should return 2 completely different answers. But I got the feeling it's either going to return the same answer twice, or it's also going to just return the same answer twice. So if there is an instance, they should be the same variable. I am noticing a lack of the log happening because of... No, I did upload. Yes. I did refresh. Huh. This is not happening. Well, that just throws a wrench in my plans. Why is that not happening? That can't be the problem then. Okay. I mean, we can see that this isn't happening because we're getting that answer. So this is happening in this area. Okay. And we are keeping the second one. So what is this? Same question. This should be exactly the same as that. Literally copy pasted, and then just did the indent. What the heck? I've only been on for 2 hours, damn. It was like 4. Huh. Alright, what do we got this time? Okay, so we got 2 different results. Interesting. Do we though? We want to put that log before here as well. So when that A replaces the thing in here, does it also replace the thing here before I reassign that to be this? Again though, this isn't a duplicate one. The only way I imagine it's the error is if it keeps both faces, but this isn't keeping both faces. And yes, that keeps the same information both times. So that's supposedly completely acceptable. What is the value? Okay. So 0, 1, 2 would be the top side. 2 is cut. 3 is the one. No, which one's the one's problem? 2. So 0, 1, 2 is a 2. So that's the problem. No. That's not the problem. Huh? That's not right. Okay, I could do another one of these, but that's not going to be... I need to... But then if it's... I need to invert? Well, okay, let's bring back the inverter. I need to invert if it goes behind the camera. Because that's an edge that hasn't been altered at all in any way. It's the very first vertice. It never gets altered. It does the altering. So this time... Blah blah blah, so we got a 1, skip, a 1, a skip. We got a whole lot of nothing. We got a 0 and a skip, damn it. Okay. Would it just be faster to not be doing any of this? Is this optimization actually optimizing? Because to do this, it actually has to run through a whole lot of conditions. 3 to 4 conditions have to run for that. But to do this, so where it is, it doesn't have to run through any conditions. And if I don't have this condition-y thing, then I don't have an if here. I don't need to do the back front thing. I don't need to do any of this inside of an area thing. So no more clipping A's. I mean, for this initial one, sure, I could keep this stuff here. But yeah, everything beyond that, I don't have to do any of this junk. Because this is where it's going wrong, is in here. Okay, maybe there's a problem here. Well, no, because it's the same thing as it always is. Okay. No. And then... Why is side 2, which should be the top side, cutting when it says it shouldn't? All I can imagine is it's going behind the field of view of the camera. Which, would be inverting the edge that it thinks it's going over. Basically what's happening here. So, if this intersects that edge, it only knows it if it ends outside of that edge. If it goes from the inside of this to the inside of that, then it doesn't know. But it's a 2. Well, both of them are outside. Okay. So, if that edge was instead going out like this, one's on the outside of that edge, and the other one's on the outside of that edge. which is the point of the inverter. No, not inverting. If I don't invert, then this edge is this edge, so it's on the outside of this one and the outside of that one. Which means what? Okay, let's log more information. Let's log clipping for this. So that's what it wants to do, and this is all of the A. Oh, yeah. Alright. So that should be that. And we don't care about this. So where the heck do you think Sue is? Oh, I need to get the other one as well. Stop, damn it. So, we got... What? Where's the rest of my numbers? What? Okay. Uh-huh. Why did that not show anything? That does not have an eye. Oh, because, yeah, that's right. Okay. It's not supposed to. Okay. So what do we got here this time? We got a 0-1. This thing was expecting to get cut. It's got a 0-3, which is irrelevant to this one or that one. We got a 2-3. So a 2-3 would be a 2 to a 3. We are going under that line. Yes. So why is that a no? Two and a 3 would mean 812 is equal to 1, which is what we're checking, but it says it's equal to 0. Did I do something wrong? 812 is 812. 812. Okay. Well, is the problem in here? Did this start with the right thing and then become wrong? So that one should contain the vertice that I'm looking for. Let's go change music. Let's get the music going again. Started on its own. Oh yeah, so that's before the start. So yes, we have a 0. Yes, we have the right things. So somehow that's become not that. Okay. So what is clipping A in general, I guess? Is going to the 0. 0 is the 0. 0 should always be the 0. Unless it's the second face that's kept. It's the second face that's kept, so this is all invalid. Okay. So that means this is the front of the camera. And I don't know what's going on here. So yeah. It was this, but this is irrelevant. I'm looking at the wrong thing. It's a whole lot of nothing. And this one, 0, 1, 2. Okay, that's the one that we want to be a 1, which is it isn't. Okay, so this is what? This is from an A. And your clipping information is calculated from here. Which is a brand new calculation. And it is correct. Unless this is wrong. But that can't be wrong. Because otherwise everything would be wrong. Okay. I don't know, what happens if I don't do that? That should make everything real weird. Surprisingly unweird looking there. And perhaps that's what I should be seeing? Nope. Yeah, that makes things look weird. Not surprising to get anything that's basically normal. So that cannot be wrong because I can literally see if it was wrong. It should be blindingly obvious. Other than it being wrong. But anyway, it's correctly wrong. Successfully failed. Scale would not be kept correctly if that was wrong. So if that's not wrong, then this isn't wrong. If that's not wrong, then, well, this can't be wrong. Unless I've somehow used S. If there's any way I would have made that mistake. S is S. Okay. That appears to be all correct. Okay. A rounding error? No. Maybe? I don't know. What is this? see how that could be a problem. Other than that, let's bring this back and I'll model the whole thing up, damn it. Field of view should still be correct. Or I could just ignore the whole damn optimization because it's probably not even optimizing anything. But I can't really tell that until I implement it and test the two. If I can even glean any information out of it. How would I test that? I don't even know. Anyway. So, what do we see? Nope. So apparently that one's within a 2. So what the heck is this? So that intersection is down the bottom. Let's just finish mapping it all out. Nope. Okay. So that should be like that. What one was the first one? 17, 10, -3. Okay, that one to that one. So that line there is supposedly at a 2, which would be 1 would be the bottom, 2 is over this side. So yes, it's within that quadrant, outside the field of view of the camera. Great. And the second one is at an 8. So that one should be an 8, which is the opposite to a 2. Yes. Entirely correct. An 8 and a 2 is where they are. Which means this is a left and a right side intersection, but not top and bottom. Wait. But it is a top and bottom. How's it not a top and bottom if it is a top and bottom? I love it how my voice is just changing the longer I go on for. Wonder who I'll sound like next. I sound like an old woman. Someone who's smoked well too much cigarettes. Or one of those holes in the neck. Been smoking a pack a day. All I know is we're getting a whole lot more bassy. Oh yeah. Such vibrations. Now what am I doing? What if this microphone even picks up bass? Wow, apparently I'm really quiet. Am I louder now? No, I'm still on the lighter end of it. Just barely reaching the yellow. Oh no, I'm spiked in the red. Whatever. I'm sure people would let me know if I was too quiet. So anywho, we started there, then we're over here. We kept the second side, so that just basically goes away. Let's just duplicate and hide, then delete. So this is what we currently got.
Maddie learns. I can hear you fine.
Okay, I'm not sure if anybody was even there. Um, surprised he's still around. What am I doing? So yeah, we kept the second side, and then we're supposed to be doing a top thing, and there was a cut. So how did we get a cut on the top? On this edge, that is wrong. I don't know. The top is not the top? There ain't no way that's gonna get a cut. From here to here does not intersect that line. So how did it intersect that line? Okay. Well, this is implying that that is wrong. Either that is wrong, or my dimensions are wrong. Okay. Oh, bring that one back in again. What do I do? Pause. Just pause. Yeah, okay. More and more logged information. Side 2. Okay, so you're 300. You should be that one. Yes. What? How is that line intersecting this line? It just doesn't. Unless the perspective's wrong. Should be causing all sorts of problems. This is from a side. That's from a top view. What? No. Huh? Okay. That's wrong. This would be a side view if it was a top piece. So that fixes it? That was cutting wrong, but it was cutting all sides, so it corrected itself. It was doing the side view when it should have been doing the top view. Well, that's not right. But do I get the right numbers? Stop, damn it. Blah, 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 blah. 1 skip, 0, 1 skip, nothing. 0, no skip, 1 skip, 1 no skip, 2 had a skip. Nope. That's right. That should be a 1. Why would it not have? Because, oh, I got that backwards. No, sorry. That is a 2. Because we're looking out and up, which makes it side on. Okay, so out and up makes it side on, so I'm looking at it this direction. This line does not cut that edge. Okay? So, why is it? One of these things is wrong. But they're not. I is wrong? 0 to 6. No. I'm plotting it out wrong? No. I don't understand. How does... Okay. So this is telling me what? That one is correct. No, that's not correct. I should not have an intersection. These are apparently the lines that are intersecting. No, okay, that's the wrong one. So 0, 1, 2. This is the one that's intersecting but it's not. It is, yes. So this is the one that's intersecting that shouldn't be. Apparently that is an intersection. What? I've confused myself. What is this? Okay, my field of view is a little bit different, but yeah. field of view. But that was irrelevant. I didn't got to the field of view yet. So that's one line. And that's intersecting with... that. Okay. This isn't the edge I think it is? This edge is the wrong information? The direction's inverted. No? Okay. Let's correct these. -1, 2, 4. So that is the right one. 124.2. I mean, that makes it look like I'm looking at the wrong edge. How long is this edge? Okay, so the edge I'm looking at is this one, which would be correct. Ah, I thought it was from this one. So yeah, that one's 0, that is correct, okay. So from there to there does have an intersection. Doop doop is really annoying. Okay. So why does it think it doesn't? Why does that have a 0? Okay, what is your information from? It's from something that was behind. It was from outside of this. But that's okay. But then if it's... oh no. Okay. So if I do a behind cut, I need to rework what the clip A is, I think. So these need to rebuild both sides of the edge. No. Yes. This needs to also rebuild what 0 was. So that would need to... but that's what that is. So this is... oh, okay. It's got to rebuild, yeah, 2 things. So that's the 2 edge things. And it's also got to rebuild. I'm really not sure if I need to duplicate these. Because we're only going to be having the one face. I feel like I should not need to do this. I only need to do this if I'm keeping both of them. Here. But that's a test for a different thing. That's optimizations. So yeah, I need to have a second one of this, which will be doing one of these, and that is for 0. I'm getting hungry. So 0 needs to be rebuilt, and it is, well, itself to the next one. Okay. And that should correct the problem? Interesting. I pressed escape, and I think it stopped those textures from loading. Oh, interesting. If you press escape in the loading screen, it breaks it. Hilarious. Okay, 1, 2. That's now a 1. Okay. Do I also need to rebuild that one? I think I do. What is this one? No, that one doesn't need to be rebuilt. So that should just fix it. I could test that by just removing that. Is it now the same shape that I currently see? Yes! Okay, remove all the damn logs. So far so good. Nope. Okay, still got errors around the place. Who messaged me? Well, I think I might go. I want to go get some food and stuff. Fran wants to talk, so talk to him, get some food. I will probably be back on later tonight, unlike last night, unless something comes up again. At the very least, I'll just model out more of the scene and stuff if my voice ends up disappearing. So, yep. I really have no clue if this optimization actually optimizes. I might also just ignore it and just get it working without this optimization. I could just come back and do it later, although later I probably won't understand how this works. And it also means I'd want to clean it up and get rid of all the logs and things, so... no, I should probably get it working before I move on. But yeah, back later. Worst case is I'll just be doing modeling. I might be back anyway, even if I'm in Discord talking to people and things. I'll just stream it. That'll be like 3 hours or so, maybe. I don't know. Okay, thanks. Bye.